There is a lot of hatred going on in the world. All the people most likely definitely hate something because this society has become very great at making you hate something. It's throwing all sorts of junk at you, and sooner or later, you will feel overwhelmed by all the sorts of things that seem to be happening in the world. Why I say seem is because even the mainstream media is telling you things, but ultimately, when is the last time you actually heard the truth from them? Surely they tell you of all sorts of events that happen and things, but they seem to be placing way too much accent on wars, famine, devastation, and the such. Seems like they're trying to push you back into your comfort zone, into your protective shell a bit too much, isn't it? They're trying to make people jump into the metaverse and make it feel as if, uh, you know, it's fully safe in there and nothing can happen to you. Well, your account can get banned anyways. That's something that can happen. And well, in that environment, people even have babies apparently. But well, as I said, as technology develops, and well, I'm not the only one saying this, but as technology develops, a lot of people are gonna find it much harder to distinguish in between what is a reality and what is not. Meanwhile, society is pushing all sorts of idiotic ideas, illusions that sound very great. When they're telling you that this whole world is a simulation, only an idiot can believe into that. Because you can smack your face against a mirror, break it into pieces, and you can hurt yourself in a few ways, but well, don't do it too greatly. And when you feel that pain, keep lying to yourself that that is, well, um, the pain is not there, right? You're already doing that because, when people give up on life, it is inevitable that they will become masochists. Why? Because when they give up on life, they open themselves fully to ignorance. Our previous generations definitely gave up on life because they got tired of believing the same old lies, but they got way too convinced deep down inside that no one will trust them because obviously their families and their home environments were mostly the ones that crushed them so badly. So, a lot of people nowadays find it super easy because of all these pent up frustrations to simply hate everything, right? When you give up on hope, you're gonna be ignorant. When you're ignorant, well, you're not gonna invest too much time into developing yourself, into bettering yourself. So, you're gonna remain somewhat stagnant. Stagnant people will always be suspicious, they will always be miserable, they will always be prosophobic, right? They will hate progress, they will always want to remain into the past times. Even a lot of gamers you see quitting their games because of two reasons. They didn't like the game moving on, and the same time, well, they kind of didn't like the game much, but it was a good escapism. So when it comes to hating things, see, hating is a very powerful tool which has been used against us for thousands of years. How? Well, very simple. When you create um, separation, well, that is the best user of this, or let's say amplifier of the duality of this love hate aspect. When you create, let's say, two religions and you masterfully pit them one against the other, like for example, Christianity against Islam, the third religion, which stood very hidden, Zionism, well, it found it much easier to simply do the same thing that it's been doing for hundreds, well, thousands of years actually, and that is infiltrate societies and, crumbling them and, impoverishing people and downturning or what, overturning governments and rulerships by simply drowning everyone in debt. So as things go on and on, see, everyone ends up hating something. When you don't, when you aren't capable of transcending all these emotions, your children will take them, and generation after generation, this will be stronger and stronger. Nowadays, when World War II started, people say Hitler was a maniac. Well, I see much bigger maniacs nowadays than, in the times of Hitler. Back in those times, well, we've had far greater authoritarianists, right? We've got the Mongols, we've got others. Most likely history forgot them thousands of years ago. But the very simple point is, the potential to destroy things, the technology has evolved way more, right? People tell you all sorts of things about World War III, and it's like everyone is expecting it. World War III is already happening. It's a spiritual warfare. It's a war for your hearts and minds. No one cares to destroy you. If they destroy you, they lose everything because they no longer have the slaves to serve them, right? If they keep you healthy, well, the pharmaceutical industry, for example, will be worthless. But if they bomb you with all sorts of toxins and then they program you to use the same useless pieces of medicine that they're teaching medics and everyone to be accustomed to and to recommend people and even feel proud that they're doing that, because when people are miserable, you teach them that they're doing something good, and they will proudly do it because finally they're feeling they're doing something good. But obviously, a sick society will teach them in reverse, right? You are telling people how to kill other people, but they're feeling good because they don't see the side effects, right? When the television tells you about people who do all sorts of those diets that allow you to lose weight very fast, well, they only show you that part. Rarely or probably never will they show you what can happen if you burn out that fat so very fast. When you do it too fast, well, a lot of the toxins that were stored in those fats will end up in your body. You might get sick, probably you might even die. Do they care? No, they just want the money. So banning things is a result of hatred. Intense hatred will want revolutions, will want change. The first change is always going to be the first impulse of the mind, right? When it comes to ignorance, the first impulse of the mind will be to ban things. For thousands of years, a lot of things were banned, right? Main religions, right? They would tell you that sex is banned, right? You're not allowed to have it. In a certain point, it is a very healthy thing, energetically and spiritually speaking. But when you ban something, you can remember as a child, when your parents would ban you from doing something, your mind was all over the place, and it was only thinking about that. It was like no longer thinking about that with one process, like you had 10 mental processes. You tried to uh, you try to suppress those, and then suddenly there were 1,000, right? You never try to suppress the mind because you simply will make it overwhelm you. The more you think about something, you simply multiply it. Even if you think about canceling it in your mind, suppressing it, or just think about it, it's going to simply multiply because the mind is nothing else but an amplifier. So, and an engine of ingenuity, as I call it. So when you ban things, that's a big problem because when you ban them, you're only going to make the mind more pervert. That's what they're trying you to do, because the first step was to push all of these agendas, including LGBT and all sorts of these things. Call yourselves this, call yourself that, 1,000 genders and whatever. People will want to cancel those, but they will probably not know that they're gonna do the system's bidding instead. You simply leave these be, because the simple point is, if you try to ban them, the people who have become slaves of these will become even more perverted and more aggressive into drawing others into their movement. See, all of these are nothing else but trends. Trends simply come and fall, right? Homosexuality has always existed and madness has always existed because the biggest problem in the world is everyone's feeling alone and abandoned. In a place with 8 billion people, well, it's kind of strange that everyone's feeling abandoned. And simply change the trends. Make it, sound very nice when people can simply socialize, create more such events. Well, I can talk more about this, but don't try to ban things. It's never gonna work. Try creating new trends that slowly incorporate the opposite of what you seek to fight. What you fight will only become stronger because you're gonna feed your energy. This being said, have an awesome day. Take care. Ferinjan Board signing out.